And a good morning, happy Friday to you. I do like the temps a little bit better this morning. 58 degrees is what we're showing. Cooler weather is on the way. They're promising.
Going to be 85 today, and
Yep.
they say this could be the last day of summer. I mean, even though fall started on September 20th or 21st or something like that.
Mike Painter texted me the other day. He's a police officer here in Maiden. He heard me talking about first frost, and he said normal first frost for this area is October 31st. And I was thinking it's earlier, but he's probably right.
Right.
But, you know, we don't even have – we have no color turning here yet, which is a little surprising for mid-October. Because I think the mountains are kind of almost in full bloom, especially the high spots. I don't know about
I was up
places.
in the Salute area last weekend, you know, Polk County, that area. I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
It was just nothing's turned.
Yeah, and, you know, I would have thought one of the things that kind of helps it early is how dry it's been. Usually the leaves turn quick and they don't last long. They're not as colorful.
Right off the trees.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that kind of plays out. Milton, good morning. Richie, good morning. Glad to have you guys with us.
Yeah.
We got high school football tonight. Let me pull up my picks here.
Yeah.
They don't have to officially be in until
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
I got mine in yesterday
I
afternoon.
got mine in, and so I'll go ahead and because I don't mind. Revealing mine.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're following me and looking for me for help, you're in trouble anyway. Rick Mitchum had a big week last week.
Rick Mitchum
12
is red
and
hot.
0.
12 and 0.
And, you know, I only lost 2, but it wasn't enough.
He's gone from nearly the bottom of the standings to like in the top 3.
Here's your matchups. Of course, the game of the week is Maiden at Bunker Hill. That'll be for conference.
I think that's for the conference.
Yep. And we had to pick a score on that one. I went Maiden, and I went 28-7. I think it's a 3-touchdown score. The only way it stays close, the only way Bunker even has a chance is ball control because they can't score nearly at the same pace that Maiden can. And when you've got a team that's more deliberate in their scoring and offense, it's hard to stay up with a team that can post them quick.
Now, isn't Bunker Hill pretty much a mirror image of West Lincoln?
I think so. It's the same kind of – it's a very deliberate offense. It's not an explosive.
Right.
It's a ball control. We're going to kind of lay on you and mash you and keep – if you can't score if you don't have the ball. So – that's my pick on that one.
I think I went 35-13.
Okay. East Burke and Lincolnton, that's a Lincolnton win. And Lincolnton's kind of got –
they're sneaking up.
Restarted a little bit. David Bird doing a good job down there. I think Scott Cloniger's back down there helping out with the offense.
Well, the thing has been the defense. They're pretty good defensively.
Okay.
They got some speed. They got some pretty good guys in the middle of that defense. So – they don't have a lot of players. You know, they've had some COVID issues, but you can see that steady improvement, Lanny, over the last 3 weeks. They got a 3-game win streak, and honestly, I think they'll extend that tonight.
Yeah. Bill Klein, good morning. Glad to have you with us. West Caldwell at West Lincoln. That's a West Lincoln. I don't think that's no contest. North Lincoln at Fred T. Ford. That's not going to be one. I went North Lincoln. St. Stephen's at East Lincoln. I went East Lincoln on that one. Saint still struggling. This is the one that had I not saw last week's game, Bandy's and Maiden, I may have picked a little closer. Bandy's is at Newton. Bandy's is really banged up. They had a lot of kids standing on the sidelines, a lot of young kids playing, so I went Newton Conover on that one.
I debated.
That was one I had to wait till last to pick.
Newton Conover struggled, you know. But you mentioned the fact that Bandy's is injury riddled.
Yeah,
I went Bandy's, but certainly could go the other way.
I think it's kind of a toss up. Thomas Jefferson at Cherryville. I hate to say it, Thomas Jefferson will roll. Yeah,
they're the one team in that 1A 2A split that can play a little bit. The others. Of course, they hadn't had any luck, of course, against Burns or Shelby. They got blown out.
Not going to have.
But they're definitely the best 1A team in that split league.
Yeah.
By far.
Hickory at West Iredell. I think Joe Glass picks up another win. I picked against him last week, I think, and that was one of the games that I lost.
You know, they're kind of in it there for that second and third spot.
Yeah.
They're right there with East Lincoln and North Lincoln.
Yep.
And they already have a win over East Lincoln, but they did lose to North.
Right. Statesville at North Iredell, that's a Statesville win, I think.
Yeah, they won the conference. Yeah. I mean, they're just playing out the stairs.
North Gaston at Hunter Huss. Hunter Huss is pretty good. North Gaston's still struggling. It's just the only coach been successful, and this goes back to Mike Briggs as well, has been Bruce Clark.
Bruce Clark.
That's it from North Gaston.
They've really struggled since then. Huss is in a rebuilding.
Bruce's son is the head coach.
Yeah. Huss is in a rebuilding year too, but I think I'd take Huss's athletes over North Gaston.
Ashbrook at South Point, I'm going with the Red Raiders.
Yeah, they had a bad game last week. That game was really closer than 28-7 against Kings Mountain. It was 7-7 after 3 quarters. Mm-hmm. They made some mistakes. They had a pick 6 for a touchdown. You can't give that up. Mm-mm. Their quarterback didn't play well. I just wonder if you'll see any change in quarterback there. But, no, I look for South Point to bounce back and beat Ashbrook in that one.
Thank you, Joe. Joe says both Huss and North Gaston are winless.
Well, Huss has struggled too. So
and the only way that they pick up a win is if one of them, if they had to play each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Joe also said Ashbrook South Point has been canceled due to COVID.
Well, I'll be.
Thank you, Joe. Had not heard that. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. I had no idea.
Yeah, North Gaston hasn't been a formidable opponent since A.J. Blue.
Pretty much.
That's probably about right.
You know, they brought a guy over from South Point, Mike Patton.
Yeah.
Good heritage, good pedigree, but he just couldn't get it going.
Yeah. Here's another one. We may differ on this one. Forest View at Crest. I went with Forest View.
I debated on that one, too.
That was my other one that I
because we know Forest View's got a good defense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Crest is not as good as they have been.
No, they got handled pretty well last week by Shelby in their annual rivalry game. I went with Crest, but
I thought we might differ on that one a little bit.
I had a moment to pause on that game, too.
Let me see if there we go. I had this up the other day. RPI rankings. You can pull this up because we were talking what is it now? The CVAC. I had to think what we're in here. They get 2 automatics, and then the wild card comes out of the RPI.
And what are we figuring in the CVAC? I'm thinking 3 teams are going.
Yes, I think so.
And I think it's pretty much determined, really.
Wow, it won't even pull up now.
Yeah. I had a problem pulling up Max Preps yesterday. I don't know what was going on.
Well, this is off the High School Athletic Association.
Okay.
Let's see if I can try another classification. Just see if I get anything to pull up. Nope. So maybe we have a problem with that. Mm-hmm. And there is another one, High School Overtime.
HighSchoolOT.com, yes.
Yep, they've got a link off of it also.
Which is a very good site, by the way.
Yes.
They do a good job.
They do a really good job.
That's WRAL, isn't it?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah.
That's who kind of runs it. Yep.
Yeah.
And do you like that the High School Athletic Association has gone away from Max Prep rankings and gone to RPI?
Yes. I think I do.
RPI. Here we go. Okay, they've got them all. I had to scroll down here to get to where I want to be.
You want to get what?
Okay, in the RPI, it's Reidsville, Shelby, Maiden, Hendersonville, Bunker Hill. That's your top 5. Okay, so that tells you right there. And then West Lincoln is number 10. So if West Lincoln can win out, they've already played Bunker, they've already played Maiden, they should be a wild card, I would think.
There is one game I think that's a hitch on West Lincoln's remaining schedule, Lanny. That Lincoln game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one that
Joe said going to be a lot of high-impact collisions between Forest View and Crest tonight.
Yeah.
Butch said lots of reminiscing last night at Maiden Bunker JV game. Lots of history between the two. Maiden holds 3 state records against the Bears. 30-game win streak is the current one. Yep. That's
in
pretty. Yeah. That's pretty impressive right there. And there is a lot of history. Burns, another local team, is in at number 11. East Surrey, isn't that where Trent Lohman is?
That's exactly right.
They moved up to 2A. He's ranked number 6 in the RPI. Chase, a little unusual, 5-1. They're at 13.
Mm-hmm.
Other local teams, East Gaston is 20 at
now
4-2.
they've been one of the pleasant surprises of the year.
Mm-hmm.
They sure have.
Hard to believe they're 2A and they used to be 4A.
I know. Remember when they were 4A?
Yep. Used to be a big school.
Yeah.
But that's some of your local schools in that top 25. Now I want to go back to the 3A. You've got Statesville at number 4, Kings Mountain at number 5, North Lincoln at number 6, Crest at number 9, East Lincoln at number 11, South Point at 13, Hickory at 17.
Yeah, they've Joe Glass has them in a position to maybe make the playoffs. They probably got to win out.
Forest View rounds out the top 25. Stuart Kramer's in at 22. But that's just some teams of local note. Let me roll back.
I saw that
here.
North Lincoln's RPI is better than Crest. That surprises me a bit.
It's better than East Lincoln's. Nobody would have thought that at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. Now, has East Lincoln's quarterback returned to play?
I do not know.
Tyler Mizell, you know.
Do not know. I had heard 4 to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't.
I saw a Twitter clip where he was practicing.
If not, he's close.
Yeah,
he's got to be close. And it was on his non-throwing hand, right?
Non-throwing. Yeah. So they should have him back soon, at least for the playoffs.
I would think so. And if you're smart, unless you need it to make the playoffs, I would keep him out.
Keep him out.
That's exactly right.
They got a freshman in there. They did have, and I think with the bottom of that league is so weak.
Yeah.
I mean, you can win.
Distinctive top and bottom.
Oh, I've never seen a conference that had 2 distinct tiers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got North Iredell, West Iredell, St. Stephen's, who else?
Ford
in the bottom. And then East, North, Hickory, and, of course, Statesville.
In the 4A ranks in the West, Chambers used to be Vance, Chambers, Huff, Marvin Ridge, Grimsley, and Glenn. That's your top 5. Catholic Inn at number 8, Weddington at 9, Myers Park at 12, Lake Norman at 13, Watauga at 15 after they got all their players back.
They had those early struggles.
Oh, I know.
It was because they didn't have their guys.
Yeah. South Meck at 19, South Conwell at 20 at 4-1. A little unusual. They're ahead of Mallard Creek at 21. The Butler comes in at 24. Asheville rounds out the top 25. Then the last one I'll look at, we'll get in here and look at the 1A in the West.
That's a good idea.
Teams of note, Mitchell at number 4, Thomasville 5, Thomas Jefferson. We were just talking about they're number 6 in RPI. They play Cherryville tonight.
Right.
Mountain Heritage at 7, Starmount at 8, Swain at 9, Murphy at 10, Elkin at 11. North Rowan is number 12, Mountain Island Charter at 15.
What's Mountain Island Charter's record? Scroll back to that.
4-1.
4-1, okay.
And then here's a surprise to me. Drawn at 3-3 is 18.
Huh.
Bessemer City at 22, Cherryville at 23. And it shows you, and I hate to say this, I'm not taking a cut at anybody, but you're 1-5 and you're in the top 25 in RPI in the West.
I don't. Is it just because there are not that many 1A teams?
The only thing I can think of.
Yeah,
I'm like I say, I'm not taking a cut.
No. They just don't have as many
yes, Richie, that's like, what is RPI? I don't know how it's calculated, but, that's what college basketball uses.
Yeah, it
is the RPI. Joe said Mizell played last week, threw 2 touchdowns, so he is back.
He is back.
He is back.
I mean, I guess he'll be there for St. Stephen's.
Bob said the same thing. He did return last week. Aisha was 3 for 4, 2 TDs. The freshman played as well.
Okay. Butch, they're in good shape again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Butch, I want to mention this too. Thanks for bringing this to my attention. West Lincoln women won the CVAC regular season and tournament championship.
That's awesome.
Maiden volleyball regular season champs at 14-0 in side conference play, and I believe the maiden JVs went 20-0 overall. So a lot of good volleyball. So
that's an undefeated JV and varsity program.
Yeah. They lost a couple of matches outside the conference, but didn't lose anything in the conference.
Well, that's what really matters.
That's right. Let me take a timeout. Greenie from Golf Shop Radio will join us on the other side.
untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Welcome back. Happy Friday to you. 58 degrees here at 8:19.
Yeah.
That's a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, it's nice and brisk.
I'm
morning.
ready for cooler weather.
Oh, boy. It's been...
I was looking. I thought they had, it said they had playoff projections, but this was baseball. I don't want to see baseball.
No. So what, we got 3 weeks left in the regular season, essentially?
Yeah,
after
tonight and 2. Yeah,
just 2.
Really 2.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. This is a 5 Friday month.
Yeah.
And we got 5 in here.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I was looking to see what else I could come up with here on the football and maybe the volleyball. Volleyball tournament starts next week. Couple notes. Let me get Greeny in here. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. Mark Greenhouse from Golf Shop Radio joining Mike and I. I'll throw a couple things at you. We just finished talking about some high school football. Going to move on to college football. App State took a huge beatdown with Louisiana, and our Tigers played a night against Syracuse. Mike asked me during the break, says, what do you think? And I said, well, every game that Clemson plays now makes me nervous.
Yeah, and again, I still don't understand Vegas point spreads with Clemson so far this year.
Yeah.
It's not making much sense to me. I mean, here we are favored by 13.5, and they're barely scoring 14 points on offense. So, I don't know where it comes from. The last time that they played a Friday night game was in Syracuse, and they lost. And that was the game, I believe, that Deshaun Watson went down in about the second quarter. He was already injured coming into that game, and they lost by a field goal. So not good mojo for the Tigers going up to the Carrier Dome.
And how long ago was that?
Yeah,
I think that was 2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't that when Kelly Bryant took over?
He did, and had a horrible game.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember. It's
And
hard
he was the starting quarterback the next year, but he lost his job, of course,
to Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
And then he disappeared, and I don't
he went
know.
to Missouri, right?
Missouri.
Yeah, but he didn't.
Missouri.
He didn't get drafted. Don't even know if he had a tryout. I don't think.
No.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, there was one offensive lineman this week for Clemson that said the offense is ready to break out. So, it's been a lot of a struggle. It's been, in the first few games, it seemed like DJ wasn't throwing the football and just couldn't get it out of his hands. And then progressively, when he has made a few throws, the receivers have dropped it. So it's gone from more of DJ's fault to a combination of when he does finally let one go, the receivers aren't making the plays. So we'll see if we can get everybody on the same page this week. I mean, I think this offense still has plenty of weapons to be able to put up 30 and 40 points. It's just a question of, do they have the confidence at this point? It's like a golfer.
Where do you think the disconnect is? Why do you think they're struggling?
For me, I think it's play calling. I think, if this goes – Laney, I've been at 2 games. I was at the Georgia game here in Charlotte, and I was at the NC State game in Raleigh. And especially in the Georgia game, I mean, if you remember last couple years, whatever, back to Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence, even Taj Boyd, I mean, there was always times where the offense has struggled. And what did you do? You made sure that you somehow got the ball in the hands of your playmakers as quick as possible. And I don't think I've yet to see the play where a wide receiver comes running across and the snap comes and he just flips the ball up in the air and the receiver takes it and goes. I mean, where are those plays? Where are the wide receiver bubble screens? Where are the plays to get the football into the hands of whoever quickly when your quarterback is struggling? I haven't seen those plays.
And I agree 100%. And that's the question that I have. I think that's the Captain Obvious answer, but is the question – the play design, the play call, the lack of confidence in DJ, the lack of confidence in your receivers? What part? I mean, there's something. Either the offense coordinator Tony Elliott, who's supposed to be a top candidate for a head coaching job, either he's not as competent as we thought, or they don't really have all the pieces to pull off the offense they want to run.
Well, and I'll go back to, and I forget what his name was now, but he was a cornerback years and years ago, and he had a great statement. He was asked about it, and he said, look, this offense is built to score in like 5 plays, and when they don't score in 5 plays, they struggle. And he said one of the things that this offense has right now is from a wide receiver perspective, they're all the same. They're all 6'2", 6'4", guys that are very good at high pointing the ball and out jumping the opponent and taking it away. And we don't have the guy, the slot receiver, the little, the Hunter Renfrow for possession, for everything, for third down. We don't really have a mix of guys. We have all the same receivers, so that's why they're struggling. I mean, I don't know if I ever agreed with moving Justin Ross from the boundary to the slot. I mean, he's a boundary receiver. I don't see him as a slot guy.
Mm-hmm.
The slot guy has been Hunter Renfrow. I would even have liked to have seen Will Taylor before he got hurt in the slot, the kid that they came in and had run the Wildcat once in a while. But I don't know. It just seems like you're correct. There's a disconnect somewhere, and is it that Tony doesn't have the confidence in the offense to run certain plays, so he doesn't run them? Or is he not running certain plays because they haven't practiced them? I don't know where this comes from, but it's been a long time since this offense has struggled. And I go back to, and I can't remember, it was before Taj Boyd, there was a quarterback at Clemson, and he had the same problem. It was like he took the snap, and he was trying to go through his reads, and it was almost like he was waiting for the receiver to be open before he threw the ball instead of, throwing the receiver open or throwing it on time. But yet, when he played in a bowl game, I think it was actually against Oklahoma that year, they basically said, take the snap, pick a guy, and throw it, and we crushed him. And I think that's what they got to get to with DJ is take the snap, throw it to one guy. Whatever happens, happens, but take the snap and throw the ball, because when he does that, he's been successful.
Well, here's the thing, and everybody thinks I'm beating him up. I'm not beating him up. I'm just asking obvious questions. It almost seems like we've maybe missed on a player or two, and we don't have the depth that we've had before. Clemson has become – Dubbo does a great job of recruiting, but he over-recruits, and then he loses people because they can't play. And then if somebody misses just a little bit, you don't have that depth. I've always said Dabo got the job because he was a great recruiter, not because he was a great coach, because that's what head coaches should do. You put the X's and O's and the mechanics in the hands of your assistants and your coordinators. But it's almost like we've missed on some, and there's always been – the funnel has always been full with talent.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you look at, there's probably, three Clemson quarterbacks starting at other schools right now. You've got a couple of running backs at other
One's in Boone.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the whole concept. I mean, yeah, that happens everywhere. And I think it happens to a lot of teams. I just think this happens to be maybe the perfect storm where we've had some key players that have transferred, in the last, let's say, 2 years previous and then this year. I mean, obviously, you see what happens. I mean, Lynn J. Dixon's in the doghouse. He transfers. Next thing you know, you lose your top running back in Will Shipley. So I think that's what's happening. And, I mean, the defense is playing incredible, despite the fact that they've lost, their two best interior guys basically for the season now, and they haven't missed a beat. So, but you haven't heard of guys transferring on the defensive side of the ball anywhere as near as much on the offensive side of the ball. So I think there's going to be a recovery period there. I think he's done a good job recruiting. I just think that maybe, to your point, and again, the same thing happened. I mean, with quarterbacks, I mean, you look at, if DJ goes down, Tayshaun gets to go in. I'd still like to see Tayshaun take a couple snaps in some of these games
exactly.
when DJ's been struggling, when DJ's struggling. But, we lost a couple of guys in the recruiting trail to baseball that signed, first-round deals. So, again, that's why you're a little thin at quarterback. We got Cade Klubnik coming in, and, heck, the injury bug's even gone down to our recruits. He dislocated his shoulder, last week. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. And maybe this is your taking the hit for 1 year for all the success that you've had, and maybe they come back next year and they've got a whole bunch of guys that can play.
Greeny, let me ask you a question about another quarterback situation. Everybody's talking about it all week. Will Lincoln Riley start Caleb Williams at QB against TCU or stay with Spencer Rattler?
And that's the tough part. I mean, you start looking at this. I mean, it's the same thing here at Clemson. I mean, you got this Rattler's the big recruit, signed all these NIL deals, and I mean, he's he's underperformed, and maybe, and I don't know. I mean, for me, I would want to, for my job security, put in the best player, and so be it. I mean, if you have to platoon him, I mean, we say platooning never works, and it usually doesn't, but maybe you start one guy. If he's not cutting it, you throw the other guy in. If he's cutting it, he gets to stay. I mean, but all that does is create an environment where a guy's not wanting to make a mistake, and knowing that if he makes a mistake, that he's yanked from the game, so maybe he's not making the throws. I wish I could say that might be one of the things that's weighing on DJ's mind, but he hasn't been pulled from a game yet, so I think you need to play who's going to win you football games, especially when you're Oklahoma and you're undefeated.
Yep.
I think with Clemson at this point, when you got 2 losses, if you go up to Syracuse tonight and you play the first 3 series and we do absolutely nothing, for me, I don't see why you don't at least put the other kid in and give him a shot. If he marches down the field and scores a touchdown, guess what? He goes in the next series.
I had a philosophy when I was coaching, and you got to the point that playoffs were not nearly as expanded as they are now, and you got to the point to where postseason was not in your sights. Yeah. If I'm going to lose, I'm going to lose with my future, not with my past. Right. So that means that if I've got kids that need playing experience, I need to get them out there because I've got to get ready for the next day, the next game. And if a player's bothered because they get pulled because they're not performing, that's not a coaching problem. That's not that's not a team problem. That's a you problem because you're not getting it done. If you're there for the team, you want the best players on the field, period.
Well, and here's the other thought process, too, about any top quarterback, whether it's in Oklahoma or Clemson, getting pulled. The transfer portal is now over. If you had yanked one of those guys before the transfer portal window was open, was closed, maybe they transfer. And, here at Clemson, that's a concern because you're very thin at quarterback. So if you yank DJ and Tayshaun does well and you leave him in the game and DJ transfers, now you're really in trouble. So maybe there's some thought around that as well. But, I think for me, I think the transfer portal, the way it works, is hurting the top programs because it's allowing a kid that, was a 5-star recruit that maybe underperforms initially and gets dropped to 3rd on the depth chart can just transfer and go play somewhere else in the middle of the season. I don't have a problem with you transferring, but you need to do it before the season starts or after the season's over. That's the way I look at it. This 4-game rule is ridiculous to me. And then we have all these NIL deals, all these kids coming in, and not only do they get 5 stars and they think they're, the best thing since sliced bread, but now they're getting the money to show it, and they're underperforming. So, I mean, is it a coincidence that the NIL starts this year, and basically all of the teams that we've seen kicking everybody's butt for the last 5 or 6 years in Clemson, Ohio State, Alabama, Notre Dame, Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma's the only one that still hasn't lost, but they've looked like garbage. There's not the juggernaut that you're used to seeing. And is that due to the transfer portal, number one, and kids signing NIL deals and thinking that they're, the best thing since sliced bread, and now they're paying for it on the football field? I don't know. Is it a combination?
Yeah. But
it sure seems to be a coincidence, doesn't it?
I know, Richie, one of our listeners said, according to the student newspaper, Williams has taken more snaps this week, but Riley then banned all media from practice. He doesn't really want folks to know what's going on.
You know
so
what
there
happened?
Might be some changes.
That student, very resourceful reporter for the Oklahoma campus student newspaper, he got up somewhere like on the 4th floor and actually took pictures of the practice session and found out that Williams was taking the majority of the snaps. They reported that, and then now Riley banned the media from any further contacts or no comments for the rest of the week.
That's interesting.
What would be even better is if he has a security guard up on that 4th floor up there, stopping that guy from taking pictures again.
Yeah.
But that's the guy I want working for I want him working for me.
That's exactly right.
I thought that was very resourceful of him.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Trying to get the story.
Yeah. Let me ask you one final question, and I'll let you go. The Panthers, David Newton posted last night, Christian McCaffrey is not at the portion of practice open to the media. It's not a good sign for his availability on Sunday. Matt Rule said he was 50-50. McCaffrey has only played in 6 of 21 games since Rule took over. Now, I may have to go back and change my pick because I took the Panthers because I really thought McCaffrey was going to be back, but I'm just not sure now.
Well, that game's without McCaffrey, this is a toss-up. I mean, the Vikings haven't been very good, but the Panthers have lost 2 in a row. The wins they had weren't exactly over stellar teams.
No. Your thoughts, Greeny?
Yeah. I mean, I never had the Panthers with a winning record this year.
I didn't either.
So that's the thing. I mean, it was like, the moment you won a couple games early, everybody's like, oh, this team's 3-0. And what happens with the Panthers, and it's been happening for years, is that once the 22 that start getting injured, that's the downfall of the Carolina Panthers. Their depth has been in question for 7, 8, 9 years. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean, you see McCaffrey go down. They've never developed a second running back. You look at the successful teams. I mean, again, I'm a Patriots fan. I've watched it for 20 years. I mean, they never really had one running back. It was always running back by committee. They still do that. I mean, you need 2, 3, 4 running backs because what's the injury rate in the NFL? It's 100%. So if you're not, you stick McCaffrey in there and he's 75% of your offense in those wins, and then suddenly he's gone, how do you distribute that? I mean, it's just, and then you start, you have a great defense, but you lose J.C. Horn, and, now your offensive line's got problems, and you're taking your right tackle, moving him to left tackle, and bringing a rookie in at right tackle, and we know Sam Darnold has never proven that under pressure that he's a good quarterback. And, why you ever went out and made the move to get Sam Darnold and then pick J.C. Horn instead of a left tackle in the first round is still beyond me.
Well, yeah, I'll correct you on one statement that you said, and now the offensive line's got problems. It's not and now. The offensive line has had problems since Jordan Gross retired.
Yeah. And how you didn't address that in the first round it still blows my mind. I mean, it worked out well for New England because Mac Jones dropped right into their lap because Carolina was one of those teams that didn't make the move that they should have made.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, Minnesota's a 2.5-point favorite at Carolina right now. And Minnesota has actually been playing better. And I think if you look at a team that has, I think the Panthers will win against teams that don't have a average offense and an average defense. If they're good at one and bad at the other, I think that's where the Panthers have an opportunity to win. But when you look at teams that can actually score some points, they're not juggernauts on offense, but they can score some points and they can make you pay for mistakes. And they have a defense that's not going to shut you down, but it's going to stop you more often than not. That's when I think the Panthers are going to struggle. I think the Panthers on either side of the ball can take advantage of a less than average, opponents. But I think when you've got a team that's got some decent balance, they're in trouble.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Greeny, what you got on the show tomorrow?
Well, we're going to talk with our man Bill Bender, the Sporting News. We've got the man with the best job in the world. He's Rob Spellman of Golf Aficionado magazine, who gets to travel around and stay at resorts and play golf courses and then report about it. And then we've got David Lake, who's going to talk about a concept that is like Top Golf, and I'm not even going to say Top Golf 2.0. I'm going to say like Top Golf 5 or 6.0.
Wow.
It's this whole new concept of indoor simulated golf.
Stop it. That's my idea. Don't be telling people that. I've said that forever. Climate control, the way the simulators play now, that's a beauty, and you'd cut down the round because you don't have the travel between shots.
There you go.
God. Stole my thunder. Don't be doing that.
We're always a day late, and I wouldn't even say probably $100 million short.
There you go. There you go. Greeny, thanks for your time, my friend.
Yes, sir.
All right, have a good one, boys.
Have a good one, bud. Talk to you soon. See ya. God, that was my idea. That's when Brett Keever asked me why I don't have a simulator set up in here. I'm like, dude, I'm out of room. I have to have more room if I do that. I need more room. Take a final time out and be back with more.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Have you thought about when you would like to retire? One of your major assets is planning for retirement is time, and you lose a little of it each day. The longer you wait to start accumulating capital for retirement, the harder it's going to be. How should you plan for retirement? Start by calculating approximately how much capital you will need at retirement, then estimate how much you will have to put away each year. Finally, carefully choose the investments in which you will invest. Stifel Nicholas can assist you. Call Ford Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
And welcome back. Helps if I turn the microphone on. It's just little things that we don't do sometimes.
Right.
As we're winding up here on a Friday morning, I want to go back to college football. I guess I give you the rundown on the pro game.
Got a couple games last night.
Yeah. Tampa Bay beat Philadelphia last night.
Yep.
Tom Terrific had 297. Leonard Fournette had 81. Antonio Brown had 93. Mm-hmm. Pro games for the weekend. The only real, I guess, quality game that I see out there, Seattle and Pittsburgh. I would have taken Seattle all day, but with Russell Wilson out, just not sure. Las Vegas and Denver, I'm just not sure anybody can win that one.
Yeah, and Las Vegas playing their first game in the wake of the scandal with the coach, John Gruden, his resignation, firing, whatever you want to call it, ouster. Mm-hmm. Be interesting to see how that team is affected. I guess the one I've heard the most buzz about, Lanny, is the Chargers and Cleveland.
Yes.
No,
Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I took the Chargers.
Yeah.
I like the Ravens, but I just, Kiever seems to think the Chargers are a year away. I think the Chargers or the Bills come out of the AFC.
Yeah.
I think the Rams come out of the NFC.
The Rams have, so far, I think, been the best-looking NFC team.
I think Jacksonville gets their first win this week.
Who they got?
Miami.
Yeah, that's a team with a lot of problems.
And it's in London.
Oh, the London game.
At least you can see part of it. That gives you 4 games on Sunday.
Keep doing this forever?
There's three cities in Germany vying for games.
Oh, so you think they'll expand the European tour, so to speak?
There won't be a franchise, but I think they want to have a game over there every week.
The players can't. They hate it.
Oh, I would hate it too.
Yeah,
I would hate it too. Yeah, no, I agree 100%. The only way that you can make it work is if you give them a week off.
You'd have to.
You get a bye week.
The
next week.
Yep.
That's why they need 2 bye weeks. If they're going to do that, they need 2 bye weeks in the season. I'd rather have 2 bye weeks than 17 games. For me, make the season longer. I don't necessarily have to have more games. The other game of interest to me, and I stunned him with this yesterday, I think Dallas, and I don't like Dallas, but Dallas goes to New England and puts a beat down.
Could be.
They're playing pretty well.
They look like certainly the class of the week.
Yeah.
NFC East. And, Dak Prescott has come back.
Surprised me.
Playing extremely well.
Yep.
I think he's learned a few things. I don't think he's taking as many chances with his legs, staying more in the pocket. And, their defense is better. So maybe this could be the year for Dallas.
Yep. Last night, it was the Midshipmen falling to Memphis, 35-17. South Alabama. And was that not a team that they canceled just a few years ago, and there was such an outrage they brought it back? South Alabama.
South Alabama or UAB? I can't remember.
I can't remember. It might have been UAB. One of those two.
Yeah, it was.
But South Alabama put the beat down on Georgia Southern, 41-14. Their coach got the axe after week 3, if I'm not mistaken, at Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
Tonight, it is Marshall at North Texas, Clemson at Syracuse, Cal at Oregon, San Diego State at San Jose State. Not any great matchups.
Keep an eye on that Clemson-Syracuse game.
Yeah.
In the Carrier Dome.
Yes, it's in Syracuse. Oklahoma State, Texas, that's a ranked matchup. I think
Oklahoma State undefeated.
Yes.
Everybody's talking about Oklahoma, but the Mullet has his team rolling pretty good.
I think Arkansas at home, they roll over Auburn. I think Florida goes down to LSU and helps put the final nail in to Coach O. I think he's gone after this season.
I think he's gone. Not only have they underperformed the last 2 years after having perhaps the greatest team ever in college football in 2019, but all the investigations and all the other stuff that's rolling.
Off-the-field issues.
Off-the-field issues.
Yeah. A&M is going to go really put one on our boy Drinkowitz up in Missouri after,
no letdown here for
I don't think so. Not against Missouri. Don't think so.
I call him Drinkwater. But
Drinkwater, that's close enough.
Yeah.
I'm looking. This will be a pretty good game. A lot of folks say this will be a beatdown. Kentucky rolls into Georgia.
I know. I can't. Mark Stoops done an excellent job at Kentucky. They're undefeated. But between the hedges, Georgia's defense, what's the line on that? I heard it was like 19 or 13.
Let's see.
I thought maybe 13. I'm not sure, but
it's double digits.
Double digit.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll be that bad. Now it might.
Well, Georgia now going with JT Daniels not in the lineup.
Yep.
Going with can't think of the kid's name, Stedman something.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't know. He's doing the job right now, but there's going to be some tougher games coming up.
This is my upset special of the week.
All right. What's that?
BYU goes to Baylor and gets beat.
Yeah, well, they lost last week. BYU. So the lilies, the blooms off the lily there for BYU. They're certainly out of the running for a major bowl. And Baylor, new coach in his second year, starting to play pretty well.
Does Boston College sneak up on NC State at Chestnut Hill?
Well,
is State a little overrated?
I don't know. You know, they conquered Clemson.
Everybody.
Yeah. BC usually plays tough at Chestnut Hills. But I think NC State's, had a week off? I think NC State wins that game.
Is Tennessee going to make a change again? Ole Miss is going to roll into Neyland and probably roll up to Vols.
Well, you know, the last couple of weeks, Tennessee under I can't think of the new coach's name, Josh Heupel, they started to put a few points on the board. That game could be in the 40s for both teams. Mississippi doesn't play a lick of defense. I mean, we know that.
Which is unbelievable in the SEC.
We know offensively they're pretty good. They're really good. But that's kind of the headline game. Well, in Georgia, Kentucky also in the SEC. I'm curious to see if that would be a big win for UT.
Yeah.
If Heupel's team could pull it off.
Clemson is a 13.5-point favorite, as Greeny alluded to earlier. I was going to look. You were asking about Texas. Texas is 4-point. If they're -4, that means they're giving 4, right?
Yeah.
So Texas is giving 4 to the Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably have to take some of that. Arkansas is only a 4.5-point favorite over Auburn.
Yeah.
Florida, 11.5-point favorite over LSU. The Aggies, 8.5-point favorite over the Tigers. What was the other game you asked me about, a line?
Ole Miss and Tennessee.
Georgia's a 21.5.
21.5
point favorite.
Even, yeah.
Baylor is a 6-point favorite over BYU.
Yeah, I like
that. Carolina's only a 7.5-point favorite over Miami in Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I don't think Mac's back.
You don't think he's back even? Okay.
He's struggling a little bit. Alabama is a 17-point favorite.
Yeah, you don't want to play Alabama after a rare loss. So Mississippi State gets the brunt of that.
Ole Miss isn't but a 2.5-point favorite over Tennessee.
Yeah.
State is a 3-point favorite over Boston College. And I think that's about all of the ones.
Really no great games on the West Coast.
No great. You know, I think we've kind of got spoiled a little bit, Mike, because we've had some really good weeks of football.
Oh, yeah, the college season has been just so interesting.
Yeah.
Crowds are back, great games. You got some surprises. Some of the big dogs in the sport have struggled. Clemson, so good.
Richie said it was UAB, not South Alabama. UAB was the one. Yep. And I think they're in Conference USA, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And he said he's surprised it's not a pick'em game for Miami at Carolina. We'll see. The Carolina fans, I would say they would get restless, but I don't think they would get restless for the simple reason that basketball's just around.
On the way. Yeah. When does practice start?
And
this weekend?
New head coach.
Yeah.
I believe it does. I think they can start on the 5th. Today's the 15th. I think it's around the 15th.
Hubert Davis taking over the helm. At Duke, 11 miles down the road, you got Coach K in his final tour.
Mark Alton, good morning to you. Mark sat in with us yesterday. He said, Coach O stepped into a situation at LSU that a blind squirrel using a red-tipped cane could have won a national championship with. His only success has come with Joe Burrow in that season.
Yeah.
He's basically 500 if you take that season out.
Well, and then, too, everybody forgets, he had the hot shot offensive coordinator Joe Brady for that season.
Who's now at the Panthers.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, he lost his defensive coordinator too, and he made a horrible hire last year of bringing in Bo Bellini, and you saw how bad LSU's defense was. Really he fired him, of course, and shook things up. But LSU should be better than what they are.
You shouldn't have to do that to make things work, though.
No, not all the time.
Yep. All right, folks, we're going to head out of here. Have a great weekend. The boys will be back here in the morning at 8 o'clock. They'll recap high school football after tonight. Only 2 weeks left. Now, Joe had said earlier that Ashbrook and South Point
is a COVID casualty.
Was canceled, but will they try to make that up?
They'll have to.
It's a conference game. I would think they'll do whatever they can to try to make that up.
Monday, Tuesday, something. I would think so.
You have to give 3 days on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that'll be made up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you back in here again on Monday night. Me and Juju will be back on nights Monday. He got over the Hickory game last Monday, knocked him out of a Monday night.
By the way, I'm sure Hickory won. I never heard the final score.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's a great tribute to Coach Dave Elder. Long overdue.
Oh,
Hickory had one of those arbitrary rules that said, we can't name nothing after you if you're alive. Well, that's the best thing to do. Don't celebrate it with them while they're still around. Amazing.
Wow.
What a silly rule, but it got changed.
That is silly.
It got changed.
I've always felt if you can honor an outstanding individual while you can still appreciate it.
The only one that's going to happen with that, I could just about guarantee you, is Charlie Hustle. Pete Rose will go in, but he won't go in until he's gone.
You really think he will go in posthumously?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, it's baseball writers who control this. I don't know.
I would be surprised, but I think that will be his punishment, his ultimate punishment. They're never going to let it go, but I don't see how they can keep him out forever.
Well, if you let him in, then ultimately, how about Bonds and how about?
There's others that are already in there that's got some issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say let him in.
In the sacred sport.
The sacred sport.
Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you.